My name is Bridget Michelle, and today I'm going to talk to you about the pros and cons of being a flight attendant. So, I want to start with the disclaimer that I am not representing the views of any airline at this time or anytime, anywhere, anytime. Airlines have really strict views on, really strict rules on social media, what we can do on social media, and online personas and things like that. So I'm just giving you my personal opinion from having flown for several years at a regional, a low cost carrier, now major airline, and I have friends at different airlines too. So let's jump right into it. First pro I would say is seeing other cultures and other countries. I really love it. I've been to Rome 3 times. I've been to Ireland, England, France, Brazil, just all over Europe. Trying to get a trip to Africa. I haven't got one yet. But anyway, uh, it's just really rewarding. If you're a big history buff like I am, then you will love seeing old buildings and artifacts, and just if you're into things like that, that's kind of cool. You can see a lot of really cool places. The next pro is flying for free and extending those benefits to friends and family. So your parents fly free, your children fly free, and your travel companion, like if you live with someone, they also fly for free. And that's really rewarding. I've been to auditions in other states, and I've had friends that went to like a job interview in another state. So that's really cool. Another pro is touching people's lives. I've had 5 medical incidents on the plane, and it's just a really good feeling to know that you might have saved someone's life. You know, we learn a lot of life sustaining techniques from CPR to, well, we also learn firefighting, but CPR, giving people oxygen, make building a tourniquet, things like that. And sometimes just holding someone's hand, saying their name, and saying, "Look, I'm here," just comforting them until the medical personnel can get there, like doctors and nurses or EMT, who's ever on board to help you out. It's really fulfilling. Also, just helping people that don't fly a lot or don't feel comfortable, just a smile. Sometimes, if someone's having a bad day, how you treat them is just really important to make them have a good experience so they'll come back and fly with you again. Another pro to the job is the flexibility with their schedule. It's amazing. So most people work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. They're off for 8 days a month. And granted, yeah, they get to go home on those days that they work. But for a flight attendant, you're going to be off for a minimum of about 10 to 12 days, up to 15, 16, or even the most I've been off, 21 days in a month. So it just depends on how much you like to fly. It depends on the work rules at your particular airline. Another pro is staying in fancy hotels. Like, it's really nice. It just feels good. The van comes and picks you up on your last flight. They take you to the hotel. And sometimes it's a beach layover. You might go hang out with your crew for the night or lay on the beach, read a good book, have some good food. It's a lot of fun. And then the last pro I would say is probably the respect and the admiration you get for the job. I feel like a lot of people look up to me being a flight attendant. It's uh, it's a rewarding job, and I've been to a dinner before where there are a lot of other professions there. There were actors, there were a clerk, there was a nurse. And when I said that I was a flight attendant, people's attention, their faces just kind of lit up, and they had questions and comments for me. And it's really rewarding. Like when you're serving in the aisle, people kind of watch you. When you're walking to your trips in the airport, people watch you profusely. Sometimes they're looking so deep in your face. And when I wear my sweats when I'm going to the store, nobody pays attention, but it's cool. It's really nice. So anyway, the cons. I'm getting to the cons. All right. The first one I would say is the stress of the job. It comes from all directions. It comes from air traffic control, because you got to close the door on time. You get in trouble for not closing the door on time. They'll put a delay on you, and then your supervisor will call you, or not call you, I'm sorry. They'll email you and say, why wasn't the door closed on time? You know, you get stressed from crew scheduling, because sometimes they try you. Crew scheduling, a lot of times, it's their job to get these flights out and to get them out on time. And sometimes they overwork you due to irregular operations, which are IROPS. Sometimes they fly you into your off day, but sometimes they go past that. Sometimes they break the rules. And so you actually have to know your rule books. You have to be very familiar with your work rules for your particular airline. You have to know what's allowed and what's not. The stress also comes from, like, when you're boarding, there's a lot going on. And especially if you work first class like I do, let me tell you what's happening. You're hanging coats, you're doing pre-departure beverages, you're helping the pilots, because for some reason, I always ask them ahead of time if I can get them anything, and they say no. They just say they don't need anything, and then they wait until I get busy, and then they ask me for a Coke and a soda and some peanuts or whatever. And so you're taking care of them as well. You're also taking care of UMs who are flying alone. These are young people flying by themselves, and you have to keep track of them. You are helping people find their seats. You're helping people who don't have a place to put their bag. You're reloading the bag so that you can fit their bag overhead, or either you're asking them to check it. There's just a lot going on. So you also sometimes get stressed from your supervisors, because when you call in sick, it's not seen as a good thing. It's not a good mark on your record. You, depending on your airline, you either get an occurrence or points, or just a bad mark on your record for your reliability. Sometimes you have to fight it. You have to talk to your supervisor or go above their head. Or if you're at an airline with a union, you have to set up a meeting with a union rep, get them to fight it for you. So this is what we do. Even if we have a doctor's note, that is something that is seen as bad as being a flight attendant, unless you have FMLA, Family Medical Leave Act. That's another video, another day. Anyway, another con to the job is just the filth. Like, I don't know why, but I see pee in the lavatory like almost daily. And I don't know if it's males or females. I don't know why people's aim isn't a little bit better, but like, there's often, I've seen pee on the floor, poop in odd places, there's throw up, and I'm not just going to leave it there. We don't have to clean it technically, but I want people to be able to use the bathroom. I need a working lavatory, so I put on my gloves. I use the pickup kit. That's what we use to clean up messes, and I try to clean it up, and it's pretty disgusting. I've seen people that I thought had a communicable disease. I mean, you have people sweating profusely or bleeding, or like they cough on you, they sneeze on you. When you pass people in the aisle, they just go like they cough right on you. They cough right on you, and it's just like, so you're exposed to a lot, which brings me to my next point, the radiation. We're exposed to a lot of radiation. You can look this up for yourself, and this point is kind of controversial, but I don't know if it's the radiation you get from the aircraft, or if it's just being in the air and being exposed to, all that sunlight. But I think it's the aircraft, but I actually know of a lot of flight attendants who have passed away or are dealing with a respiratory disease or cancer. And, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the actual statistics are. And I don't think airlines would let that kind of information out anyway, even if they knew. But I fly the least amount I can. I fly just enough to pay my bills, and that's it. I would say the last con is probably dealing with unhappy or insecure or first-time flyers that don't know what's allowed and what isn't. They don't know how to do things. They don't like being told what to do. Or people that are just plain rude. It happens. I've had a lady hit me on a flight before because I asked her to turn her phone off. This was years ago when we had to tell people, we had to ask people rather to turn their phones off. I've had people, they drink too much, they get belligerent. I've had people that they get upset because there's no more room for their bag, and now I'm asking them to check their bag because there's just nowhere to put it. You know, people sometimes they get upset with us over things that we have no control over, like when we're running late due to bad weather. So, considering that I don't control the sunlight or the rain, like there's nothing I can do. I mean, I smile, I apologize as much as I can. I give people points and reward tickets and I don't know, points to use on their next flight. I just do what I can. I just do what I can. And I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to come back with a part 2. I'm almost done to telling you the pros and cons of being a flight attendant.